Very good morning, my dear friends. Welcome back to Chandan Logic's English YouTube channel. You are watching YouTube English live session. My name is Sham. So due to some technical issue and power cut problem, there is a slight delay in our session. So whenever there is a slight delay in our session or when there is an abrupt disturbance during the live session, don't worry, we will try to come back as early as possible because of the fact that it's like raining. It has been raining every day, so very often there is a great chance of technical issue or power cut issue kind of problem. So just stay relaxed and welcome back everybody to Chandan Logics. I am Sham sir talking to you, my dear friends. IBPS PO mock test explanation is what we are going to spend our time on today, and this explanation is also important for SPI students as well, because there is only a difference in the weightage of the question paper. Like in SPI PO English we have 40 questions and IBPS PO we have 30 questions, but what we learn and what we practice is more or less the same. So this session is important not only for IBPS PO but also for SPI PO and every other competitive exam as well. Let's get started. So share this video to your friends preparing for competitive exams. You're watching Chandan Logic's English live session every morning 8 o'clock. I come on this channel live, and every evening 7:30 I come on live on Chandan Logic's Telugu channel. Right now on this Telugu channel we are talking about CGL exam mock tests. Chandan Logics has a free course for you. This free course has many practice questions from different topics of English. You have 7,000 plus practice questions, my dear friends. Take this opportunity, and also if you are a student preparing for police exams, you also can get the best of the best English classes here at a very reasonable price. So my dear friends, now we have a very important jumbled exercise. This exercise looks very easy because A, B, C, D, just 5 sentences. Even after, but, further, there is no longer. So it looks like a very easy exercise. I think you can complete this exercise in 45 seconds. What do you say? Your time starts now. 45 seconds. Begin now. Time is running out, my dear friends. This exercise doesn't look difficult, so you can happily get it done in a very short span. Tuck, 5 blanks ready already, my dear friends. Now it's easy to identify the first statement. Let us see how. See, you cannot start with but. No way. You cannot start with further. It cannot be the beginning sentence. If you look at the second sentence, there is no longer enough to wash away the salt. There is no longer enough to wash away the salt. First of all, the salt cannot be the beginning statement. But if you read the sentence, you are saying enough what? Are you trying to say enough water, enough acid, enough money, enough time? What are you talking about this enough here? So now fourth and fifth statement. So naturally you cannot start with even after. There is a very little chance. You can try this here. It starts with E. It's an assumption. See, every shortcut is just an assumption. The area has always been exposed to the nearby sea, but farmers say salinity was kept in check by supplies of fresh water and silt from the Nile. So you are talking about a particular area. You are talking about a particular area. That area has always been exposed to nearby sea. There is a sea nearby. So naturally when there is a sea, people expect salt water, salinity. So that's the reason government is also always focusing on the level of salinity, the level of salinity. Here, this is the introduction sentence. Here the problem begins. But now this is a general opening statement, no details completely. Now you go to the deeper details. Now the deeper details begin. Even after construction of Aswan High Dam in over 50 years ago ended, fresh water still reached the fields through canals. So, if you look at this statement, this is the opening statement. Now you go to the deeper details. This is the details. You're talking about Aswan High Dam. You're talking about Aswan High Dam. You're talking about Aswan High Dam. Okay? Can you tell me what comes next, my dear friends? Can you tell me what comes next? Yes, my dear friends. Can you tell me what sentence comes next? Yeah? Fresh water still reached the fields through canals. But even that has lessened. See the C statement. As the government has rationed agriculture water use to account for the country's growing population. So now you are trying to talk about the solution. In the first two statements you talked about the problem, now you talk about the solution. The government has rationed agriculture water use. There is no longer enough, but this water is not enough to wash the salt. How easy the exercise is. Further down the coast on the eastern side of the delta, concrete barriers have been put down outside the city, aiming to keep the rising waves back. I think this is one of the easiest sections in PO exam because easy to understand. You're talking about a problem where there is a salinity, there is a high level of salt water, and now you're trying to talk about the problems and then solutions. How easy the exercise is. I know some of you could do this in very short time, but some of you couldn't. If you couldn't do this, if you weren't able to do this in hardly 45 seconds, you need to improve your reading skills. You need to improve your understanding skills. That's the problem I always talk about. Read. When you keep reading every day, you get to learn a lot of things. You improve your reading skills. Guys, jumble statement is a scoring section in any exam. I don't want you to miss your score in jumble statement at all. Okay, after the jumble, now we have a very beautiful spotting error. So these questions are divided in 5 parts. You have to choose error. Where is the error? Make it fast, guys. Can you make it fast? Where is the error now? Where is the error now? I will give you only 30 seconds for this question, my dear friends. Where is the error? Where is the error, my dear friends? Yes, easy sentence. Further down the coast on the eastern side of the delta, concrete barriers are put down just outside the city of Portside, aiming to keep the rising waves back. Further down the coast, on the eastern side of the delta, concrete barriers are put down just outside the city, aiming to keep the rising waves back. See, there are very big waves, rising waves. To protect ourselves from the rising waves, concrete barriers, concrete barriers have been arranged. That is the meaning of the sentence. So, if you want, I'll explain once again. To protect the people or to protect the agriculture, to protect the, anything from the rising waves, concrete barriers are put. I'm waiting for your answer. I'm waiting for your answer. I'll wait for 10 more seconds. Easy question actually. There is a serious problem here with tenses, my dear friends. There is a serious lapse with tenses. You cannot use here are. Are is present simple tense in passive voice. In passive voice, it belongs to present simple tense. This is not a universal fact to use present simple tense. This is something you're talking about, an action taken already before, very recently. So in the place of are, you better use have been, or you better use were. Both are fine. Concrete barriers have been put down just outside the city, or concrete barriers were put down outside the city. It is as simple as this. Listen carefully. Last year there was an agitation from farmers, so a bill was passed. You don't say bill is passed, no? Yeah, you better say bill was passed. You're talking about an action taken by the government or an action taken by somebody. Either it must be in past tense, maybe there is a chance for present perfect tense. But why do you want to say present simple there? Concrete barriers are, why do you want to use present tense there? Concrete barriers have been put, or concrete barriers were put. Okay, it's a direct question based on tenses, nothing difficult. Can you try the other question? Can you try the other question, guys? Can you try the other question? It looks very easy. Yes, guys, last 10 seconds. First of all, how simple the question is. You are talking about European Space Agency. So naturally agency is singular. Why do you want to use have? Better you use has. The European Space Agency. Agency is singular. So we use singular verb has. Now you understand the sentence a little. The European Space Agency has recently upgraded the Mars's instrument of Mars Express. There is a serious problem with the second part of the sentence also. The European Space Agency recently upgraded the Mars's instrument of. Why do you want to say Mars's instrument of? You have to use Mars's instrument on. It has upgraded the instrument on Mars Express. Upgraded the instrument on Mars Express. You read the sentence once, you will understand it. Not a problem. The Mars's instrument on Mars Express, allowing it to be used at much closer distances that could help shed light on the mysterious origin of the moon phobos. The European Space Agency has recently upgraded the Mars's instrument on Mars Express. See, it is a space agency. There is a Mars Express, Mars planet. So this European agency has upgraded. The European agency has upgraded its technology on the Mars planet. On. You don't say off. This sentence, there are two problems. One problem is subject verb agreement and another problem is preposition, but this can be understood only if you understand the meaning of the sentence. Question number 8, my dear friends. Can you try the answer? Can I give you only 20 seconds time? Speed up your answers, guys. Speed up your answers, guys. Waiting for your answer. Elon Musk has assured the European Commission that Twitter will abide by tough European rules of illegal online content policing now that the social networking has passed under his ownership. I'm waiting for your answer. I'm waiting for your answer. Elon Musk has assured the European Union. See, Elon Musk, everybody knows. He has given assurance to the European Union. What is the assurance? What is the promise? Twitter will abide by tough European rules. What is the point here? There are a lot of illegal online content, correct? So the rules of, again the same problem, dear. You don't use rules of, here you use rules on. Why do you want to say rules of? Rather you say rules on. Elon Musk has assured the European Commission that Twitter will abide by tough European rules on illegal content policing. On. Don't say off, you better say on. See, these kind of questions you can answer only if you understand the meaning of the sentence, my dear. Today the problem is majority students cannot understand the sentence properly. They cannot read it clearly. So some errors in grammar easy to find. Static rules like fixed prepositions, tenses. But sometimes you will find the error only if you understand the meaning of the sentence. So meaning is very important here. Meaning is very important. I'm not happy with your performance so far in spotting errors. Can I expect good performance in the 9th question? Only 20 seconds time. Read the sentence, guys. Read the sentence, understand it. Read the sentence, understand it. According to the 2011 census, paddy was sworn over 2.7 lakh hectares in Sangrur district, or 87% of the net planted area. In the Kharif season, and wheat was sown over 2.8 hectares, or 92% of the net planted area. In the Rabi season, my goodness, this sentence is easy. This sentence is very easy. This sentence really has all the statistical data. There is no English here, all mathematics. No error. There is no chance of having an error. Honestly, there is no chance of having an error. According to the 2011 census, paddy was sworn over 2.7 lakh hectares. Everything is like, what is the only observation is a small preposition according to, correct? And here the sentence is in past tense. Here also the sentence is in past tense. Except that there is nothing else related to grammar in the Kharif season. All simple, no. There is no chance of having an error. No error, guys. Question number 10, can you try confidently? Question number 10, can you try confidently? Waiting for your answer. The CAG of India has been asked to conduct an audit to ensuring that the amount to be submitted. The answer is already ready, no? We use a preposition to, the verb is in the first form. What do you think so? So 2 plus V1, easy answer. You don't say to ensuring, you better say to ensure. Easy, easy, easy. To ensure. Easy. How easy this is. You don't use past tense. You don't use gerund. Simple. To ensure. Katam. To ensure. Easy. Yeah? Easy. Okay. Next one. After the spotting errors, again we have inappropriately spelt word or misspelt word. Nice question. Answer easy. Waiting for your answer. Give me some good answer now. Yeah, guys, waiting for your answer. There is one word which is wrongly spelled or inappropriate to the context. There is one word which is wrongly spelled or inappropriate to the context. Some experts say, see, first of all, you normally see the sentence. You normally see the sentence spelling wise, no issue. Now spelling wise, no issue means now you need to be more careful now. I think I need to underline the words here for your understanding. Sporadic is A, affects is B, and one second. So sporadic is A, affects is B, and let me underline C here, hyper. That's all, only 3 words here, no D. Hyper irritability. Okay, I will not waste time. The problem is with sporadic. The problem is with sporadic. Do you know the meaning of the word sporadic, my dear friends? Sporadic means very rarely. Sporadic means infrequently. Or sporadic is short term, something that has short term lifespan. Experts say sporadic exposure to air pollution affects the brain. You tell me, do you think sporadic exposure to air pollution is bad? No. Prolonged exposure. Prolonged exposure is bad. If you are exposed to air pollution sporadically, that's not a real problem. Only the problem is if you are exposed to air pollution long term. That's the problem. So, sporadic exposure is wrong, prolonged exposure is right. So why are you not able to understand the sentence? I shall tell you the reason. You are not trying to understand the sentence. You people are directly trying to get the answers, but you are not able to understand the sentence. See, without understanding the sentence, getting the answer sometimes will be okay, but sometimes will not be okay. So Chandan Logics has a free course, all practice questions, 7,000 plus practice questions. Get it. Police students can get English classes on Chandan Logics. RRB Group D crash course is waiting for you, best classes. Okay, can you get me some good answer in the 12th question? Some decent performance now. Some decent performance I expect. Can I expect some decent performance? I will tell you something. Here also, there is no direct spelling problem, but there is a serious problem with the inappropriately used words. See, actually, if you observe, this is A, received, this is B, restricted, and this is C, wider. Only A, B, C. You don't even have 4th option. You have only 3 words. You have only 3 words. You have only 3 words. Now understand the meaning of the sentence, my dear friends. The size of the profits has received calls from politicians and consumer groups. What is this meaning? The size of the profits has received calls. Which calls? Phone calls? What are you trying to say? What is the meaning of the sentence? Yeah? So only when you understand the sentence properly, you will be able to find the answer. If you don't understand the sentence properly, things will not be easy. So please understand the sentence. The size of the profits has received calls from politicians and consumer groups. There is a serious problem in the A part. In the A part, it is not received calls. It is revived. Only then you understand the meaning properly. And the problem is here also in the B part. Restrict taxes. Brother, why do you want to use restrict taxes? If you restrict taxes, the meaning is different now. You're talking about imposing taxes. If you say restrict taxes, it is again wrong. You better say impose taxes. You better say impose taxes. The size of the profits has revived calls from politicians to impose taxes on the companies to raise funds to offset. Only if you impose taxes, the companies will have to raise their funds. Only then the households can be hit, businesses and wider economy from higher energy costs. See, this kind of questions you need to understand the meaning, my dear friends. You really need to understand the meaning. So after the live session is over, you read the sentence again. Then you will understand it better. 13th question, can I expect good performance? I'm waiting for your performance today and your performance hasn't started yet. Waiting, seriously waiting for your performance. Yes, guys. With recurring attacks on its workers, China is reportedly pressing Pakistan to permit the Chinese security agencies to provide security for their personnel, which according to press reports, Islamabad is resisting as it meant boots on the ground for Chinese armed forces. Here recurring, observe. Here personal, observe. And here resisting, observe. What should be the right answer? What should be the right answer? Can you be more specific? With recurring, see, first of all, naturally you observe recurring spelling is wrong. But here the problem is not just spelling. The problem is you don't say here recurring attacks. You say personal attacks. Sharanya, you're right. You say personal attacks. With personal attacks on its workers, China is reportedly pressing Pakistan. Pressing means putting pressure to permit the Chinese security agencies. So China is putting pressure on Pakistan. Why? To provide security for their personnel. Here there is a problem. You don't say security for their personnel. Now the problem is PERSONAL. According to press report, Islamabad is resisting as it meant boots on the ground for Chinese armed forces. If you want to explain the meaning in much more detailed way, I have no problem. But I believe you can understand the sentence. This is not a difficult sentence to understand. You read it twice, you will understand. How many ever times I read it doesn't really help you. You understand it. You break the sentence into parts and understand it, friends. Easy. Anything is possible if you practice. Can I have good answer? Question number 14. I don't want ABCDs. I want very specific answer from you. I want very specific answer from you. A study conducted by inventors from Department of Cardiology and Radiology has found that Indians don't have increased risk for coronary artery. Indians don't have increased risk for coronary artery disease because of their smaller diameters of arteries, but because it's of their smaller body surface. It's an article purely based on meaning of the sentence. Correct. But the problem is, Vishnu, you don't have to find, you don't have to work hard. Every word you don't have to analyze. Already here 3 words are given. inventors, coronary, diameters. See, A, B, C. I'm underlining, no. Actually, this word should be bolded. So I'm bolding it. I'm highlighting it. So you don't have to worry about all the words in the sentence. Just the three words only. Just the three highlighted words only. A study conducted by inventors. Now go to the jump. Jump to the next part. For coronary artery disease. And then because of their smaller diameters of arteries. Just focus on the underlined parts or the highlighted parts. Not difficult if you practice, not difficult. This is not a challenging section. I don't know why you are slightly dilemma. Yes. This is actually a very easy question. I think anybody can answer this question actually. Yeah. Correct. Not difficult exercise. Diameter spelling is a problem. So diameter. You don't say diameter. You say diameter. So diameter of arteries. Not diameter. Diameter of arteries. Diameter. See, this is the diameter. Diameter. Okay. Diameter. I think 15th question is a nice question. 15th question is a nice question. Among the measures needed to be executed on the ground in the transport sector are stringent norms for fuel and vehicles, a shift from road to rail waterways, public transport, fleet modernization, promoting the use of electric vehicles and clean fuels, and more surpass links. So underline the C, underline the stringent, underline the fleet. If anyone can get this answer, I think that's the good performance. I think that's the good performance. Who can get the answer here? He is a hero of the class. Who can get the answer here? He is a hero of the class. Who can get the answer here? He is a hero of the class. Yeah. Among the measures, you are talking about some solutions. You are talking about some measures needed to be executed on the ground in the transport sector. See, the problem is in the country and in the world, transport sector is a problem. So there are a lot of problems and then some solutions. And some solutions are stringent norms. Okay, very good. And you have to shift from road to rail waterways. Very good. And public transport fleet modernization. Yes. Modernization is important in fleet. Promoting the use of electric vehicles. So if you take all these steps, if you take all these measures, if you take all these steps, if you take all these measures, what is the advantage? If you take all these steps, if you take all these measures, what is the advantage? Rather than, rather than working hard for 10 hours, you can just work hard for 2 hours. Okay, working hard for 10 hours, you can just work hard for 2 hours. Okay, so you are actually trying to reduce the hard work. So you're trying to reduce the hard work means you don't have to use surpass here, you have to use bypass. Bypass links, shortcut. Bypass is a shortcut. Bypass is a shortcut. You don't surpass the links, because surpass means overcome. Surpass means overcome. You are not surpassing the links, you are bypassing the links. Surpass means overcome. Bypass means go in a shortcut. Only if you take all these measures, then you can go shortcuts. Then you can go in a shortcut way. I think I am clear. See, did you understand after my explanation? So now you understand the real problem. That is why in our last session, our latest session, I think that was on Saturday, I spent almost an hour only to motivate you to improve your reading skills and reading newspaper habit. Okay. After this section is over, now we have one more interesting section, column based matching. So what is he asking about? Oh my god, this is not regular column based sentence matching. It is vocabulary matching. How beautiful, see? Words and meanings. Match it. Array, you get one word, two words also, your game is over, no? Words and meanings. Words and meanings. You don't have to work hard. Word and meaning. How simple. Word and meaning. How simple. Word and meaning. How simple. Yeah, guys. Word and meaning, how simple. Do you know claustrophobia? No, claustrophobia is fear of small places, closed places. Xenophobia is fear of foreigners. So cajoling means, what is the meaning of cajoling? Means help somebody, support somebody, convince somebody. Astray means away from correct path. How simple. And frankly, you don't have to learn all the words. You at least know 2 words and 3 words, the game is over. Second option is correct. Happy. But this is a direct test on vocabulary. Direct test. Words and meanings. Matching. Direct test on vocabulary. Nice. Can you get the next answer? Can you get the next answer, guys? Next answer, guys. See, you don't have to know all the words. At least you know some words. For example, alacrity. Alacrity means readiness. A student must have alacrity to get the government job. So there itself the answer is ready. No, finish, katam. Alacrity means readiness, katam. So alacrity means readiness, katam. So alacrity means readiness, katam. Okay. So everybody knows a student must have alacrity to get the government job. A student must have alacrity to get the government job. So alacrity means readiness to do something. And everybody knows, no, fatigue is very tired. Fatigue is very means very tired. But here I have to mention W-E-A-R-Y is different. W-A-R-Y is different. Don't be confused. So very means very careful. Very means very careful. And very means tired. So don't be, don't have that confusion. And abominable means, abominable means don't like. When we say abominable, hate. Revulsion means hate. So mutinous means, mutinous means disobedient. Mutinous means disobedient. It's like Sepoy mutiny, mutiny. Sepoy mutiny, 1857 revolt. So mutiny means non-cooperation. Mutiny means disobedient. Okay, how easy today the paper is. Okay, can you try the 18th question? Can you try the 18th question, guys? 18th question. 18th question. Vocabulary. Direct test on vocabulary. Direct test on vocabulary. Yes or no? Henpecked husband. Henpecked husband is a husband who, who is controlled by his wife. Henpecked husband is a husband who is controlled by his wife. Who is controlled by his wife. Okay. Now, generally some people will be confused. Here AC is not, AC is there, but here what about CD? What is C? Inept, but lasting for a short time. No. Inept means having no skills. So only AC is now, there is only chance with AC, no? There is only chance with AC. Let us check the other options. What is the meaning of AD? No way. Henpecked is only used for husbands. And henpecked, no, not at all. Henpecked husband is a husband who is controlled by his wife. It is a one word substitute. Henpecked husband is a husband who is controlled by his wife. But for your knowledge, I will explain the other meanings also. Like for example, henpecked husband controlled by his wife. Enervating means very tiring. Losing energy. Tired, I am tired. Inept is having no skills. So like we say advertent, inadvertent. Everybody knows, no? So he has done it inadvertently and advertently, deliberately. Now the next section came on passage, but let us see if there are any questions that can be answered without reading the paragraph. So I think the first 2 questions you need to understand a little of the sentence, little of the passage. And the next 2 also you need to understand a little. And SSC CGL students, Chandan Logics has best classes for you. PO, banking students, Chandan Logics has good content. 0 to Hero 2.0, one of the best batches. So I think these questions, except the 25th question, okay. So what is the meaning of the word embrace? Simple vocabulary. Answer please. Anybody can answer this question. Embracing, we say embrace. Embrace means what? Answer, easy question. Waiting for your answer. Yes guys, what is the meaning of the word embrace? Yeah. Yes, embrace. Sometimes you may not have the direct meaning. In such cases you can read the paragraph. Embrace is enclose. So actually embracing means giving support, giving protection. Like that, in one context it is enclose. Embrace means what? Embrace, enclose, support. But sometimes you need to read the paragraph. You need to see the paragraph where that word embrace is used. See, like for example, see here. For example, see, Narendra Modi urged students to embrace new technology. So, Narendra Modi urged students to embrace new technology. Hold, include. The meaning is include in education. In education, I always say, Sham sir always says that creativity must be embraced when you learn English, when you learn vocabulary, when you learn grammar. So embrace means enclose, which means include. Okay. Now we have the last section of the paper, close test. Last five questions, close test. Then the session ends. Guys, speed up your process. Yes, close test. Waiting for your answer. Close test. Yes. Waiting for your answer. Yes. I'll explain the vocabulary here. So denizen means anybody who is local, inhabitant. Denizen means local, inhabitant. Eclat means very clever, very brilliant. Okay. So doleful is very sad. Doleful is very sad. Decree means order. Decree means a law. See? Here issued. So when we see the word issued a law, issue an order. So issue a decree. Issue a law, issue an order, issue a decree. Decree means order. See the other vocabulary. Denizen is local, inhabitants. Eclat is brilliant, clever. Doleful is very sad. So you don't have to really understand the complete paragraph. Just go by the sentence. So issued a decree, issued an order. Okay, issued an order. Now you try this. I think you can start from a small sentence. Earlier, United Nations Chief Antonio on Sunday dash his concerns about. Finish, no? So there should be the parts of speech verb. So he dash his concerns. He dash his concerns. Answer. Yes. He aired his concerns. He aired his concerns. Aired means, make it open. He openly express. Aired means openly express. He aired his concerns. He aired his concerns means he expressed his concerns openly. That's all, no? Just other options for vocabulary knowledge. When you flay someone, you insult someone, you criticize someone. Gamut means whole range. Gamut of, whole range. Fetter is irons. Like fetter is iron chains. Irons, chains, fetters. Fetters is the plural noun. Okay. So the United Nations Chief Antonio expressed his concerns. Aired his concerns. Expressed his concerns means aired his concerns. Aired his concerns. Can you try the C option? Can you try the C option, guys? Yes. To dash Afghan women to cover head to toe. Yes. Easy question. Waiting for your answer. Yes, you're talking about Afghan women. You're talking about Afghan women. So some rules are, being instructed. See, by the Taliban to dash women to cover their complete body. It is a rule. It is an order, obligation, obligate. It is a rule. Taliban has given order, obligation. Obligation is duty, rules. Okay. So Taliban has ordered the women to obligate to cover their complete body with burqa. So iota is very small. Hortative is encouraging, guiding, supporting. Handy is very simple, very easy to carry, portable. So Taliban has ordered the Afghan women to cover their complete body. It's called obligate. Don't read the complete paragraph here. Just go by the sentence. Like for example, you start from here. See, UN Special Rapporteur Richard said a day after the Taliban issued the latest dash on making complete body cover. Veil means cover. Veil means cover. Answer fast. Yes, answer fast. Yes, waiting for your answer. Yes, answer. It is an order. See, it is a rule. The issued again same. Again came, issued. So issued a decree. Here issued a decree, something like that. Issued an edict. Issued an edict. Edict means a law. Edict means a rule. Edict means an order. Okay. Hirsute means, lot of hairy, lot of hair. We say shaggy and all that, lot of hair. And everybody knows heist, money heist, robbery. Everybody knows money heist, robbery. Impair means damage, make weak. Impair means damage, make weak. Impair means damage, make weak. Okay. Can you try the last question? Easy close test. It's a game changer. Game changer. Yes, waiting for your answer. Yes, my dear friends. Read the sentence here. Read the sentence here. Yeah. A mandatory dash with restrictions on education. It is a mandatory means what? Mandatory rule. So it is a mandatory, making a full bowl a mandatory dash with restrictions. So already the Afghan women were given some rules like they should cover the body from head to toe and everything, including compounding with restrictions. Means already some restrictions are there. Already some restrictions are there. Again you are making more restrictions. Compounding with restrictions. See, the problem is compounded. Compounded means adding more. So compounding with restrictions means you are adding more restrictions. You are adding more restrictions. Compounding with restrictions. Okay. Compounding with restrictions. Okay. So juxtapose means side by side. Juxtapose means side by side. So maybe Ken is like knowledge. Ken is the range of knowledge. Ken is a range of knowledge. Ken is a range of knowledge. Ken is a range of knowledge. So legion means numerous, plenty. Legion means numerous, plenty. Legion means numerous, plenty. Numerous, plenty. So already the Afghan women had a lot of restrictions. Now all those restrictions were compounded with more problems, more restrictions, more rules and decrees and orders and the laws. I think in today's paper, close test is the easiest in my observation. After that, I'm surprised. Spellings, I think you didn't do a good job, because the problem was just 3 words, but I think somewhere you were not confidently able to deliver some decent performance. I don't know the reason. Maybe you weren't able to understand it, or time wasn't enough, whatever reasons, but spellings section was very challenging. Jumbled was easy. Today's paper, jumbled was easy and closed test is easy, except the spellings and spotting errors also. I think spotting errors also not very impressed with your performance. So spotting errors and spellings not up to the mark. Jumbled was okay and closed test was okay. And passage, I think we have to spend actually. See, the problem is, it's easy to do passage in 3-4 minutes, but as a faculty to explain, it will take more than that. So I'm trying to, but maybe in our next session, let us start with passage, because every day if we don't do the passage, again you people will not understand, and you will not get used to the passage. So in tomorrow's session, let us start with passage and try to complete the passage also in 60 minutes of session. Today's paper is actually challenging. It looks easy, but there are certain questions which are challenging, but make some good running notes. Actually, lots of vocabulary. Today's paper, if you really write the running notes, I think lot of vocabulary are there today, correct? I want you to make running notes of all the vocabulary, and tomorrow's session we will start with passage. Okay, I hope the session is useful. Sorry that today's session got a bit delayed to start, but like I have said, because of n number of technical reasons and power cut reasons, that too we are entering into the rainy season, so for n number of reasons there may be sometimes disturbances, but don't worry, whenever there is a delay or power cut, just relax and we will get back. Okay, thank you so much, and I hope the session is useful. All the best.